Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So I saw that Laura Lee did a makeup starter kit for beginners for 2020 and it gave me the thought to do the same kind of video. Considering I was just a beginner only a few years ago and I didn't know a lot about makeup, like 2 years ago I knew almost nothing about makeup, I thought I'd be a pretty good candidate to help you guys figure out a great makeup starter kit for beginners. Fabulous! Okay, so I tried to take in consideration availability and I really tried to pick products that you could actually find at a drugstore instead of like things you might have to buy offline because the brands aren't really in drugstores. I tried to stick strictly to things you could actually find at CVS or Target or Walmart, Meijer, maybe even Dollar General. So the primer I'm picking is the ELF Poreless Primer, because I feel like this primer has to be like great for everybody because it makes your pores disappear, but it's also slightly hydrating and the product lasts a really long time. I mean, I've been using this for a while. It's one of my favorite primers and I've still got a ton of product left. So I definitely think that this primer is worth it. If you have dry skin, normal skin, oily skin, I think this is a really good primer for you. It gets rid of your pores and it's slightly moisturizing. The primer just really smooths out my skin and removes any kind of pores that I have and just blurs everything, which is great. I'm sorry there's going to be a lot of ELF products in here. ELF is one of my absolute favorite brands of all time and definitely my favorite drugstore brand. I feel like they're one of the few affordable brands that the quality exceeds the price. So the foundation I think would be best for beginners is the ELF Flawless Finish Foundation. I think I discovered this foundation last year because my boyfriend's sister gave me some of hers and I loved it. It's in a glass bottle, it has a pump, it looks very nice on the skin. It looks very nice and natural. I believe it has SPF in it. And for those of you that are beginners and aren't sure about applying your foundation, I think having a pump is very helpful because then you can just apply it, directly onto your face. I think that's better than having to get your fingers all dirty. What? I think that's better than having to get your fingers all dirty. The sponge I'm choosing is my Eco Tools. I think this is like the perfect blending sponge or something like that. The shape of it is really nice. It's very squishy. It's got the round bottom and then it's got a little straight edge right here. It's super nice. This foundation has a very nice finish. It's not too dewy, it's not too matte, and it's probably, I would say, like a light to buildable coverage. I mean, you could definitely probably make it medium or full if you kept adding it. It's covered all of my redness and everything, and it just looks really nice. And I think for beginners, it's really good. They have a very good shade selection, so I highly recommend that foundation. And of course, to go with the foundation, I would 100% suggest the ELF 16-Hour Camo Concealer. This concealer is incredible. Now, you don't want to go too crazy with it. It is a matte concealer, which I know doesn't always look the best under the eyes, and it's very, very full coverage. So I just recommend the tiniest little bit. I do more on the bridge of my nose because my foundation and concealer don't normally stay on the bridge of my nose, but this is one of the very few concealers that will actually stick to the bridge of my nose and stay there all day long. I always have a lot of wearing right there, so highly recommend that. That's amazing, and I promise this whole video is not ELF. The flat end of this sponge is so good for getting right up underneath your eye. Some people think that this concealer dries really fast, so you might not want to apply it like I just did, and I don't have a problem with it blending out after it's dried a little bit, but I guess some people have, so just keep that in mind if you get this concealer. For my powder, I have the Airspun Loose Powder. I have mine in the shade Translucent, and I discovered this after James Charles was talking about it. I don't know if he did like a throwback to his favorite products or what the video was, but he was talking about it, and I was like, I should really try that, and it's great. I mean, it's nothing really that special, you know, it's just a loose powder. I know most people would probably much rather just start out with a pressed powder. I'm gonna tell you right now, a loose powder makes you look a lot less cakey than any pressed powder I've ever used. You get this huge container for like $6 or something like that. It's going to last you a very, very long time, unless you spill it, then it might not. Now for my brows, I actually have 3 products I would like to recommend to you guys. The first one is a Duo brow brush. It has a little tiny angled brush on this end and a spoolie on the other. And since I got this, I haven't used anything else unless this was absolutely filthy and I was too lazy to wash it. I just run the spoolie through my brows and get all the brow hairs pushed in like more upward and outward direction. Now, I have very bare brows. So if you also have bare brows, I highly recommend a pomade. But recently, I've gotten more into powders than pomades. And I've been using the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Kit. I use this middle one right here, and I won't start at the outer part of my brow. I will start towards like the middle. So I just make a brow like outline, and then I fill it in. That's pretty much it. I always try and go lighter on the inside because that's, you know, what you really should do, that way you don't have like weird blocky brows. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you set your brows with a brow gel or a tinted brow mascara. And right now I have the NYX tinted brow mascara in blonde, and that is what I set my brows with. Don't do that. Alright, so I've got my brows on. Now for bronzer. I feel like this is probably the most obvious bronzer in the world. Like, if you don't have this in your collection, you need it in your collection. If you're a beginner, this is definitely the place to start. The Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is definitely a place to start. It is a matte bronzer, but it looks so beautiful on the skin. It blends like butter. It smells tropical and amazing, and I love this bronzer so much. I've also been using it a ton, and you can barely like, I haven't really made much of a dent in it. I think this product's gonna last you a long time. I am more fair skinned, so I do have mine in the shade Light, but they sell this formula in a ton of different shades, so you can find the one that matches you the best and definitely pick it up. I will say, I think that the light bronzer is a bit more warm tone than the original butter bronzer, and I think honestly that's what I like about it so much. I know some people use the original to like do more of a bronzing slash contour sort of thing, and I don't contour, so I just really like the warmth that the butter bronzer gives me. I love this. It is a bit pricey. It's probably like the most expensive thing in here, but it's so worth it. For blush, I also have a bit of a cult classic, but really, where's the best place to start other than cult classics? For blush, I am going with the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. This is a gorgeous pinky peach blush. It has a bit of sheen to it, so it's not a flat matte blush, and I just think this is a great blush to start with. It really can look great with almost any look you're planning on doing, you know, any kind of makeup you're doing. It has like a nice gold sheen to it, if you can see that. It is so nice. I also suggest using like the same brush for blush and bronzer because it really blends it in better. I mean, trust me, I have a ton of blush brushes and I love all of them, but I have just gotten so in the habit of using the same bronzer and blush brush I just almost never use them. But just look, it just adds a beautiful wash of color and just a nice gold. It almost looks like I have highlighter on already, and I don't, and I'm super excited to show you guys what I do have. Almost every beauty guru in the world has this in their collection, so if you are a beginner and want to be a beauty guru, you're gonna need this. For highlighter, I didn't go with a single highlighter, I went with a highlighter palette because the options in this are just too good to pass up. It is the ELF Glow Gleam Beam palette. I have mine in the shade Light. I believe there's also a dark one. And the reason I'm going with this is because there are 3 different formulas in this palette. You've got the glittery one, the shimmery one, and the metallic one. So you have 3 different formulas to work with, and I think that is perfect for a beginner. Because really, until you've played around with highlight, you're not gonna know what kind of formula you really like. Some brands have very natural highlights, so since I already know what I like, I'm going to go in with the metallic, the lightest metallic one. And it's amazing. It's amazing. I believe this palette is only $10, and just look at that. That's you're spending the same amount of money on one palette you could spend on one highlight, and you might not end up liking that highlight. I do not have an eyeshadow palette for you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the biggest fan of drugstore eyeshadow palettes. Like, I haven't found any that I really liked. I have a ton of affordable eyeshadow palettes, but none that you could just pick up at Walmart or CVS or Target, you know, none of those. So a little trick, if you guys want to, if you take your Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, you could take that and use that as eyeshadow. Now, if you have sensitive eyes, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that because I don't know if the aroma, like the perfumey smell in this bronzer would affect that if you have sensitive eyes. So for eyeliner, I am going with the Wet n Wild Mega Liner. This was my favorite eyeliner of the year 2019. I definitely want to recommend this to you guys. Now, it is a felt tip, and I feel like for beginners, probably a brush tip might be easier, but this felt tip is very nice. It's very flimsy at the end, but it's very sturdy at like the base. And I just feel like that really helps because then it's only really moving the tip part. I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you can still see when I'm doing this. There. Pretty simple wing. So before I move on to mascara and lips, I want to share with you guys the setting spray that I would highly recommend you guys check out. The ELF Dewy Setting Mist. This is the coconut scented one. So I'm going to go ahead and spritz this on my face before I do my mascara. And what I highly recommend you do is dab that out with your sponge to really like melt it into your face. I just find that my powders will all look, you know, very powdery, especially my highlighter, if I don't do this. So if you're a beginner and you don't really know what kind of mascara to go with, I highly recommend learning how to use a mascara primer because it can really help with volume and length. I absolutely love a good mascara primer. Now, I don't use one on the daily, okay? I don't. Half the time I'm just too lazy to, but it's really helpful when you do. I'm picking the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Mascara and Primer. These are a great duo. They were kindly sent to me from Influencer complimentary for testing purposes. So using the primer, this one is sort of like a creamy colored primer. They change colors, but usually they're gonna be like a white, cream, or pink. I'm only going to prime my top lashes. I never prime my bottom ones. And if you can see, it makes a very big difference. Now obviously you can see them better because they are cream colored, but they look a lot longer. It adds a little bit of volume because it adds like an extra layer that's not mascara. You do not want to let it dry down completely. I would just let it sit for like a minute and then go in with mascara, but you do not want it to dry down completely. Then going in with the mascara to match. I also love this mascara because it has like the hourglass shaped wand, and I feel like that adds extra volume right where you need it, you know, at the end and the beginning of your lash. So if you guys can tell, my lashes just went from like 0 to 100, so really good mascara, really good primer. I love them both, and my lashes look so crazy now. Now, lashes are completely up to you. I know most beginners do not want to mess with lashes. I'm still a beginner with lashes myself, and I don't always use them. I don't prefer to use them. But if you are interested in wearing lashes, I highly, highly recommend these ones from Broadway Colors. These are the Bell lashes. You can find these at Dollar General, along with the, there's a hair. Get off here, okay. Along with the Broadway Colors Clear Brow Gel, Lash Gel. This doesn't mess with my eyes at all. It doesn't hurt my eyes, it doesn't sting. I don't try to get it in my eye, but if I were to get it in my eye, I don't think it would hurt that bad. But these lashes are absolutely gorgeous, and they have a very thick band. Now, I'm sorry they keep like falling down. I can't keep them up, but anyway, they are incredible. But anyway, if you are looking for some beginner lashes, the band is very thick on these, and so I feel like it's really easy to work with, and they just sit on your lashes really, really well. And I actually think I'm gonna apply these today just to like show you guys how easy it can be. So yeah, I'm gonna apply these. Now I would apply the glue and then wait about 30 seconds before actually putting the lash on, you know, your eye. And then I'm just going to pop them on. And see, that was pretty easy. I'm gonna go put the other one on and I'll be right back. I just think that these lashes are pretty natural. They're very wispy. I just don't think they're too much. Like when I open my eyes, I don't feel like I look like a bird that's gonna fly away. So on to lips. This is a newer product and it's a newer discovery to me. The Maybelline Superstay Ink Crayon. The reason I'm saying this is because it is pretty much like a lip liner and a lipstick in one. I have mine in the shade Enjoy the View. And it's this little tiny point like this. It's like a crayon. But since it has that point, you can line your lips with it and then fill it in afterwards. It is a nice, like, comfortable matte formula. It's just great. This is great. So now you've lined your lips, and then all you do is just fill them in with the exact same product. And see, it's just a really nice product. And I feel like in a way you're kind of getting more for your money because you're getting like a lip liner and a lipstick in one. And it also has a little sharpener in the other end of it, in case you didn't know that, so that you can sharpen the point to make it pointy again when it has lost its point. Alright, so that is all I have for you guys today. I really hope this helped. If you're a beginner or if you're just looking to have like a bit of a shopping spree and you don't know what products are easy to use and worth the money, I hope this video really helped. I know that I'm definitely a fan of the way this look turned out, and it's using some of the best products from the drugstore that I could possibly think of. And I hope that you give these products a chance. If you are heading to Walmart or CVS or Target and you happen to see these products, maybe you should pick them up and give them a try. I use almost all of these products on a daily basis. They are some of my absolute favorite products, and the drugstore is such a great place for makeup. It's amazing. I will put the total like right about here. I'll put the total of how much all of these products together cost. I'm not sure how much it is. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, especially if this video was helpful for you, or if you think any of these products are definitely worth buying, then go ahead and subscribe. Like this video. Anyway, I post videos every single Saturday, and I will see you guys next Saturday. Bye!